Okay, hello everyone. My name is Alex Mavridis. I represent Millennium Group Access Control. We at Millennium are proud to present to you the Millennium Ultra 3.0 release and the new features added to the system. So first, we'll start off with a power slide presentation. We'll jump into the software and look at some of those features and just overall, generally at the Millennium Ultra product. And then I'll open up a little bit of time at the end for any questions that you may all have. So let's begin. Millennium Ultra is our flagship product. Millennium Ultra is the product that will be installed on any new installations, and all upgrades will be moved to it. It is an enterprise software that people demand. It is fully featured and can support thousands of doors across multiple locations or sites. Millennium Ultra is flexible and adaptive to your needs as a customer or a dealer. By default, in all Millennium Ultra versions, we do include the web browser-based user interface, the thin client user interface, and we do have an adaptive interface for smartphones and tablets. What that entails is that you'd be able to use Millennium Ultra across all platforms in a network, including Macintosh and Linux machines. Millennium Ultra can also be used as a hosted instance where we generally install Ultra on a third-party server, which we maintenance, and then the customer would only have to access a website or use the thin client to maintenance their system. This is the most preferred. It is generally the cheapest and the easiest to maintenance. So with Millennium Ultra 3.0, we are proud to present these new software features and integrations. We offer the Allegiant AD300 and 400 lock integration. We now include AMATIS and March Networks video integration. We have automated card holders import and export. So if you have a third-party system, perhaps where you're entering in cardholder information, you do not have to duplicate that into Millennium Ultra. We can have that pulled in automatically through specific configuration. We now offer hot commands to be grouped and sent as one grouped command. For instance, if you have multiple hot commands, and instead of clicking each one to be sent individually, you can group all the necessary commands together and send all of them at once. We also offered schedule reports that can be emailed on a schedule. For instance, any cardholder updates or any changes to the system can be emailed to a specific operator's email. We also offer muster track reports. Essentially, we can determine who is still in a building in an emergency situation through having an in and an out reader. So if we have users that have scanned in but have not scanned out, we can safely assume that they're still in the premise. We can also upgrade the Millennium Ultra server now from the client. If you are an end user or perhaps a dealer and are unable to reach the Millennium Ultra server for whatever reason, you can easily update the server from the client. There's no need to go into the server individually now. We also support PostgreSQL. Essentially, this means that we are now able to support Linux-based systems with our Millennium Ultra server. This gives flexibility to colleges and universities that prefer to use Linux as an operating system for their SQL databases. Lastly, we included the cardholder page disable option. Essentially, this entails that you can select a cardholder's proximity card or biometrics, whichever have you, to be disabled after a certain number of times of usage. For example, a gym is a great one to go with. Just because, say, a membership may only last 7 usage times, now you can say that card will only be used 7 times before it's disabled. So let's hop into the Millennium Ultra software that we have here on the desktop and just give an overview of the different features in it. Then we'll move on to a couple of the slides and then questions. So first we will log in. This is considered the thin client locally installed on this PC. Okay, What we have in front of us here is considered the event monitoring screen. This is the main screen that you're going to see as you log in to Millennium Ultra. Up here at the top are where all the events would show, and on the bottom are where any alarms would appear. So first, let's go through the integration list that we just talked about in the new features. So the Allegion AD300 and 400 lock integration. Simply through our hardware screen, just like our devices, the DCDs, we have the ASA Abloy, VinCard, Salto, and here we are, Allegion. The setup is quick and easy and intuitive. With Millennium Ultra, we aim to make everything intuitive. Moving on to video integration. We have our CCTV cameras set up here. And this is where we would be able to view all of these videos. Now, with these cameras here, we can actually set an alarm to enable this camera. So for example, we have an invalid user set up. That way, if their card is swiped, now we have a video of that user. For example, right here on our alarm screen on the bottom under our event monitoring screen, we can just double click this alarm and it should bring up a video. Here we go. Here's our lovely software developer, Vlad. He will swipe a card and then it sets off the alarm. Awesome. Let's move on to the next new feature. So we have automated cardholders import and export. Right here, we have our typical import cardholder screen. However, the import-export would be configured through a text file in the PC. If you would like to do this, please contact Millennium Technical Support, and we can perform this for you and to customize it with whichever program that you're using. For example, we would use this if a school was enrolling users through a separate system. That information would then be exported to a notepad file or preferably an Excel file. Then with Millennium Ultra, we would be able to determine this is the Excel file that we'd like to import from. So that way when changes are made, those changes are automatically brought into Millennium Ultra without needing to actually enter in that information manually through our program. Moving on, we have the hot commands group. So we have the typical hot commands right here, and just for these two, I set up an example of lock down a front door and lock down a rear door. If I want to set off both these lockdowns at once, I've created a lockdown group. So lock down all doors. Now these two separate commands can be sent together. It offers a distinct advantage if you have multiple zones in a campus or a location with separate lockdown areas. You can send them individually or send them all at once. Continuing on, we have the scheduled reports feature. So through this, we're able to schedule a report, any report, and send them to the operator's email in the software. We also have a history of that scheduled report in case you'd like to bring up the report at a separate time. Along with the scheduled reports, we have muster track reports. So as I mentioned previously, this is not for a payroll feature, but more or less for a security feature to see who is still in a building in an emergency situation. So for example, we have employees present, employees absent, attendance, and just because of overtime, why not? We offer a lot of flexibility with our product. Continuing on, like I mentioned before, we can upgrade the Millennium Ultra server directly from this client. There is no reason to have to connect to a server anymore just to update the software. And better yet, if you use our hosted instance, you would not have to worry about that at all. We maintenance the system, and the updates are automatically propagated down to your workstations. Continuing on, we do support PostgreSQL. So this server would be able to be installed on a Unix or Linux-based system. So with this cardholder screen, we allow the cardholder disable page option right here. So we can tell this card that they will be disabled after 7 times being used, and then they would have to come back to administrator to have their access changed once again. So now that I've gone over all of the basic new features of Millennium Ultra, I'd like to just go over Millennium Ultra in general here, for those that are maybe not so familiar with Millennium Ultra. So on the top here, we have our hardware, system administration, settings, diagnostics, etc. Let's start off with hardware. This is the screen where we configure all the hardware in the system. As you may notice, this interface is intuitive and somewhat reminds most people of Microsoft Office. We have our relay modes with the activation time periods that we can apply here. The second is active on the relay, the request to exit to activate that relay, aka a button that will unlock a door. We also include elevators in our software at no additional charge as we use our own elevator controller board. Under system administration, our system allows for complete control of access to the software, not only to the doors, but to the operating of the software itself. So for example, we have the operators here that are allowed. Then we have the different operator levels that we can configure. And through these operator levels, we can limit the software as much as we'd like or allow as much access to a specific operator. Moving on, we have our licensing screen for easy checking of our SMA dates and the expiration. We have easy and intuitive database backup schedules that you can create. You can create a one-time backup at a specific time, or you can say it's going to run on a specific day, perhaps a Wednesday, or the 15th of the month. We can even go in more detail. And so you want it to run every 2 hours on the 15th, starting at 12 a.m., going to 11:59 p.m. So it's quite flexible for the user's needs. Moving on, we have our other configuration reports, besides the muster track, that go into just about anything that you like to see in the software, anything that's configured, whether it's a card holder, hardware, or time periods. We also have event reports to see when an operator changed anything in the software, so there's no guessing. We know right away if anything was changed and by who, at what time. With the general cardholder reports, most favored by colleges, we have cards with overlapped access levels, inactive users, and users by access group. So you can truly see where everybody's going through the reports. Moving on to the external systems, besides the CCTV camera integration that I mentioned, we also integrate with Suprema's bioentry readers, DMP alarm panels, and Rave mass notification. So since we have now viewed the locally installed SIM interface, we're going to open up a web browser. Just to give you an example of what it looks like. So here we are, and as you may notice, it is eerily similar to the thin client. As you guessed it, it is fully featured. All of the interfaces to access Millennium Ultra are fully featured, including the mobile interface. So now that we've gone through all the new features of Millennium Ultra, let's continue on with the slides. So with each one of our pieces of or installed installations of Millennium Ultra, we do have software maintenance agreements. With our Millennium Tellus kit, it does come 2 years pre-licensed and pre-installed from the purchase date. And for the on-site engineered version of Millennium Ultra and the hosted, it does come with a 1-year included SMA, and after that, they should be purchased. So let's talk about generally what is a software maintenance agreement And how does it help you? The software maintenance agreement is necessary as it allows the user to keep their software up to date at all times. It benefits all involved, end users, dealers, and OEM. The software maintenance agreement, once again, comes standard with every new software purchase at no additional cost. However, an additional SMA can be purchased at a later date. This allows for technical telephone support for trained technicians and dealers. It also allows for automatic software updates and upgrades throughout the year. Point being, if you keep your system maintenance and up to date, the more uptime you're going to have and almost no downtime for a stable system. Oops. So just to reiterate, the SMA gives access to telephone support for certified dealers. A reinstatement fee is charged for every site that falls out of agreement for a maximum of 3 months, and the validity date of the new agreement is retrogressive. SMA not only includes basic software upgrades and technical support, it also includes major annual software upgrades for anyone with a current agreement, unlike most competitors. If you are currently on SMA, you would be eligible for an automatic upgrade to this latest Ultra 3.0 version. Essentially, if you still have an SMA going, you can download and install this update today. This is a little contest. We've extended our Amazon gift card giveaway to the 14th, so that's tonight at midnight. Step 1, follow us on Twitter at MGI Access. Step 2, tweet about your access control journey with Millennium Ultra. Step 3, tag at MGI Access using the hashtags #Ultra3.0 and #UltraLaunch18. As a bonus, tweets containing photos related to your use of our access control products will qualify for double entry. So now I'm going to open up the floor for some questions about the system. It can be generally about anything, but if it's specific to your site, please save it and send an email to tsupport@mgiaccess.com, and we will address you individually. So now you'll hear a slight sound that says, the Q&A has started, and it'll say *6 is how you get into the queue. So let's give it a go. Please dial *6 or click the Q&A button from the toolbar to be placed in the queue. Hello, Glenn. First one. Hey, Glenn, how you doing, bud? What do you got?
Hey, I just wanted to make sure, because I came in late and I didn't know if you had covered it in the beginning. How do I get the latest software so I can download it and install it?
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. So the way that you can get this download is just to email tsupport@mgiaccess.com, and we can send you a direct download link. I believe sometime next week, we will be putting this update up on the website for mass availability.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Nice talking to you, Glenn. See you soon. Do we have any other questions that would like to get into the queue? Once again, please dial *6 or click the Q&A button from the toolbar to be placed in the queue for questions and answers. Okay, I will open up the floor for any questions. I'll unmute. Oh, here we have one. Sorry about that. See what they have to say. Hey, how's it going today? What do you have for us for the question?
So good. What kind of hardware do you guys use?
We use our Millennium hardware. It has been around since the middle 80s. We have our enhanced version of the hardware that has been released as of about 2010, and we are continuing to upgrade our hardware constantly. However, all of our hardware is backwards and forwards compatible with our software.
Okay, and did you go over that in the presentation at all, or is it just for the Ultra?
This particular presentation is just for the Millennium Ultra release. However, if you would like to send an email to tsupport@mgiaccess.com, we can certainly send you all of the hardware information and packets available. However, if you sign up as a dealer on our website, mgiaccess.com, we do have all of that information freely available as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, what else do we have for questions? Can be anything and everything. I'll give it about another 20 seconds, and then I'll open up the floor for questions. When I do, I just ask that everybody generally stay quiet and until you're ready to ask a question. If we do not have any more, then I will end the meeting relatively soon. Okay, here we go. Hey, how's it going today? What can I answer?
Hi, how are you? I have a question with regard to the scheduler. Is the scheduler going to be different in this version than past versions? Because in past versions, I had a little bit of an issue setting up a scheduler, so we used an alternate way to do that. So can you tell me a little bit about the scheduler in this?
Yeah, sure. So in which version are you referring to that had a scheduler? Perhaps Millennium Extra?
It was the one prior. We just updated it actually to.
Understood. So maybe it was
I'm using Expert right now. The version that I'm using is. Hold on one second, and I'll let you know.
Oh, it's fine. No problem. Any Expert version is essentially the same. Just to give you a heads up, Millennium Expert 5.0 and Enterprise has been end of life, but we do have complete upgrade packages to this version of the software, saving all of your current information. We can use it in the new software just fine. However, answering your question now about the schedule reports, I could type in a schedule name here, so let's say daily, and then we're going to select the specific report that we would like. So let's say holidays. It's going to be a periodic starting at Friday at 12 a.m. Now, because I'm logged in with my operator, the scheduled report would be sent to my operator email address specified under the operator configuration itself. So for me, it would be under the primary email address.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Do you have any other questions for us?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. When it comes to your upgrade, feel free to call us at the main office. It's 508-655-1340, or contact your Millennium dealer, and we can get started with that upgrade and get it priced out for you. I do appreciate your business.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Feel free. Ask anything and everything. Okay. I will open up the meeting now, just the general floor. Great. If you'd like to ask a question, please do so now. You're able to unmute yourself. If I have no questions within, let's say, a minute and a half or so, I will end this meeting.
Is there a demo version of this for the dealers?
Yes, there is a demo version of this for the dealers, absolutely, and you would be able to access it via any web browser if you send an email to tsupport@mgiaccess.com. I would be able to fill you in with the details of how to access that, and it is free of charge for the demo.
Excuse me? You were breaking up.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. We apologize. If you email us at tsupport@mgiaccess.com, we'll be able to email you the specifics on how to reach that Millennium demo. Or feel free to give us a call at our office.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
You're on mute, right? Hello?
Okay.
I have a customer that we were recommending.
Sorry, go ahead.
I have a customer with a old WayPack system that we had proposed upgrading to the Millennium Extra. Would you recommend revising that using this product?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I would definitely recommend it. Millennium Ultra is the way to go with our enhanced hardware, and I do believe that we have upgrade packages available for that WayPack. Do you currently know who your Millennium Access Control dealer is?
I'm actually the dealer.
Oh,
So
okay. Even better. Yeah. We can start off by contacting customer service at the main Millennium telephone number, 508-655-1340. And you should be able to get more information about that and what exactly that entails. But I would certainly recommend the upgrade. And like I said, we do have upgrade packages available.
That's wonderful to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Cost has been one of their hesitations, so the upgrade packages will be great.
Yes, absolutely. We are a customer-centric company, and we enjoy working with customers and dealers closely in projects. So we like to support our customers, and anytime you have an older system and you like to move it up to newer software, we're here for you.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Do we have any other questions? Okay. If we have no more questions, I will end this meeting. I do appreciate everyone's participation. Once again, if you have any questions about the hardware or the software, feel free to give us a call, 508-655-1340, or email us at technical support. That's T as in technical, SUPPORT@mgiaccess.com. Thank you again. We truly appreciate it.